Hey everybody, what is going on? James here with Heavyweight Politics. And you know what? Before we get started today, Joe Biden just had his town hall, and I just want to take a moment for us to, really look at one of these quotes that he had. He's a man of many, many quotes, and this one just, it touched me. It truly did. And so let's just take a moment to appreciate the mind that is Joe Biden. And the question is whether or not we should be in a position why can't the experts say we know that this virus is in fact it's going to be, or excuse, we know why all the drugs approved are not temporarily approved but permanently approved. That's underway too. Sorry, thank you, Mr. President. In our time of need, this right here truly does help. But that was not all. Joe Biden also had a great back and forth apparently with someone asking questions, a restaurant owner who Biden said, you know what, you should be thanking me that your restaurant's even open in the first place. That's right, he had the gall to suggest that it's thanks to the government that those restaurants are open in the first place. And believe me, he didn't stop there. So let's get right to it here. We have this article from the New York Post. Biden tells restaurant owner he'll be in a bind on hiring unless he pays workers more. Because, of course, business owners are evil. Just totally evil. And they just want to take as much as they can without giving any of it back. I'm just going to put this out here. I have been very fortunate to know quite a few successful business owners. I've been right there in the boardroom with many of them. I've had a lot of great opportunities in my life to be around very, very successful people. And one thing I can say 100% certainty is 99% of them out there want to pay their employees more. They truly, truly, truly want to pay them more. The thing that stops them is just logistics. You can't pay someone past what they're truly worth. What they're worth is what they're worth. That doesn't change because you make a law. If their work creates this amount of value, you cannot pay past that point. It's just as simple as that. But of course, leave it to people who've never run a business in the first place to tell business owners how their business should be run. That's what we see, of course, on Tumblr all day long, right? So, President Biden told a restaurant owner President Biden told a restaurant owner at an Ohio town hall Wednesday night that he would likely struggle to hire new employees for the next few months before expanded federal unemployment benefits run out unless he paid them more. Because again, they don't understand the idea of value and what value truly is. It's not just a dollar sign, as we know because of things like inflation. It is something more. It's about what is your labor truly worth? And it's not tied to a certain dollar amount. It's tied to what, of course, that dollar can buy. So if you increase minimum wage to $15, we all know what's going to happen. You get increased prices to come along with it, and now your $15, congratulations, will have the buying power that $7 did before it. That is how normal economics work. This is how anyone who's picked up a single book about economics knows it works, but it's not apparently how Biden knows it works. Apparently he knows this new form of economics where you can just, of course, pick a price and hey, that's what people will get, and their buying power will not diminish as they do it. The restaurateur, who identified himself as John Lonnie, a Republican, asked Biden during a CNN event in Cincinnati, "We employ hundreds of hardworking team members throughout the state of Ohio and across the country, and we're looking to hire more every day. How do you and the Biden administration plan to incentivize those that haven't returned to work yet? Hiring is our top priority right now." And of course, we've all seen this, right? We've all seen how many now hiring signs are up all over the place. And there's fast food restaurants around us where they close at about 5 or 7 o'clock, right? Where we just don't go to fast food anymore. For one, they have so few employees, it takes so long to get your food. And two, you shouldn't be eating fast food anyway, people. Come on. What's wrong with you? Let's get out of this habit. Let's make our own food at home. Come on, let's do it. Let's do it together. Either way, fast food is not really fast anymore, nor is it really, even open during times you need it, because they are hiring, or they need people hired all over the place. Our favorite breakfast place after church, they don't have enough employees to have their full menu out. They've actually cut items off their menu, and unfortunately they've cut the chicken and waffles. I have been so upset about this for so long now, but because of their employee shortage, they only have a certain amount of cooks on staff who can take care of certain orders, and apparently not enough people ordering the chickens and waffles. What a shame. I know. I don't know why anyone would not order such a delicious meal. Either way, I'm getting off on a tangent. The reality is that everyone has been looking to hire people, and it's no surprise that this person who owns a restaurant is really, really struggling right now. So here's what Biden said to him. Two things. One, if you notice, we kept you open. We kept you open. He's taking credit. Now, of course, the government always takes credit for what the private sector does. You know, that's just how it goes, right? You know, the public education system is nothing but the government, you know, taking credit for things that they had no hand in whatsoever. But this, to say it to this person's face, you know, they locked you down. And they would still lock you down if the people would let them, right? If the people let them, they will go right back to lockdowns. They do not give a damn about you. They don't give a damn about any of our businesses. They don't give a damn about anyone who needs to feed their family. And they most certainly don't give a damn about business owners, right? They do not care about you one bit. But, you know, he says, well, we kept you open. We spent billions of dollars to make sure restaurants can stay open. And a lot of people who who work as waiters and waitresses decide that they don't want to do that anymore because there's other opportunities at higher wages. Now, this could be fair, right? Maybe because there's more jobs open, you know, maybe, you know, like I said, yeah, because there's new jobs, or there's a lot of job opening now for jobs, people are beginning to move. There's not much distinction between not going back to work in a restaurant and not going back to work at a factory, so people are looking to change opportunities and change what they're doing. Now, in all fairness, he does have a small point here, and that is a lot of people are hiring, so of course some people are not wanting to go back to certain jobs because they want to, you know, hold out for bigger opportunities. The reality is, though, why can they hold out? Normally what it would be is that, you know, you would work the job you could, and along the way you would be applying, and, you know, you would be trying to find a new job while also working your existing job. Why? Because, well, we have responsibilities to ourselves and to, of course, the community, and we have responsibilities, of course, to the people we love who might be living with us. You know, we have to pay rent, we gotta, you know, have food, so no duh, we're gonna work while we're also looking for that new job. But they're not working at all anymore, and that's the bigger issue. God love you for what you, I love when he says that. God love you. I don't know what, I'm not sure where that came from. I've never heard an old man use that phrase before, but for some reason Biden loves it. He truly does. God love you for doing what you do. But all kidding aside, I think it's really a matter of people deciding now they have opportunities to do other things, and there's a shortage of employees. But again, normally they would be working a normal job while waiting for the opportunity to show itself. People are looking to make more money and to bargain, so I think your business and the tourist business is really going to be in a bind for a little while. What a great inspiration. Way to inspire people, Joe. Just way to inspire people. CNN host and town hall moderator Don Lemon later stepped in to ask Biden, John's looking to hire people. He's got 39 restaurants across the country. Is there anything you can do to help him out? I mean, he's got to get people in. First of all, the president repeated, the thing that we did to help John and other Johns out there is provide billions of dollars to make sure they could stay open. They're the ones who did the lockdowns. They're the ones who did the lockdowns. They didn't spend billions of dollars to make sure we could stay open. They locked us down, and again, if they could, they would lock us down again. They don't care. Again, trying to take credit for basically what the people had success with, which was saying F you to what was happening. So you all contributed to make sure John could stay in business. Yes, because the collective made sure John could stay in business. It wasn't the hard work of John. Lord knows what he had to go through during all this time. Lord knows what his managers had to go through all this time. Lord knows what his employees had to go through all this time. And what about the ones that, of course, lost their jobs during this time period? This person, the idea that the collective should take should take credit for what happened with John, when it's thanks to John that his restaurant is probably still afloat in the first place. It's not thanks to us. It's not thanks to you. It's not thanks to any of the people, any of the taxpayers out there. It's thanks to John, who did his job apparently well enough to the point where he still has those businesses while many people have lost their businesses entirely. He deserves the credit, no one else. And we should have done that as we did for other industries. Sure. But second, and here's where it gets good. But secondly, John, my guess is that people paying $7, $8 an hour plus tips, that I think, John, you're going to be finding $15 an hour or more now. You may pay that already. I hate the way Biden talks. God, it's so difficult to read. Expanded federal benefits have been blamed for unemployment rate hovering around 6% since the start of the year. Currently, unemployed are getting an extra $300 a week in federal benefits through September 6, on top of state unemployment benefits averaging $338 a week. It averages $638 per week, in which combined federal and state unemployment payments is the equivalent to, get this, $16 an hour pretty much. $16 an hour. How is a small business supposed to compete with that? How is any small business supposed to compete with that? I know mom and pops who they pay low wages not because they're greedy. It's because they literally cannot afford to pay a penny more. And let's say you could afford to pay more, right? Let's say, I had this problem in New York, right? I was in New York hiring a bunch of people for a bunch of offices we had up there in New York City. It sucked. Believe me, it sucked just as bad as it sounded, right? I was staying right there in Times Square, and it still just sucked. Just New York City shut down is awful. Luckily, I spent most of my time in the Bronx, which, frankly, I find the Bronx more entertaining than the main part of Manhattan. Just me, personally. But the cities kind of suck in general. Either way, we were offering people in the 20s an hour for very low-level jobs. I'm talking low-level jobs. And they still wouldn't take it. Why? Well, for one, because the benefits they received would be cut off if they got that job. Now, you could say, well, $20 an hour is, of course, more than $16 an hour. Why would they not take it? Well, the reason is because, in fact, they're not getting paid in a way $20 an hour. In fact, they're actually getting paid more so around $4 an hour if that's the case. Because they're already making $16 an hour just sitting on their butt. So when they go to work for 40 hours a week, they're not, going to be making a total of $20 extra an hour. They would not have already gone. They're only going to be making around $4 extra an hour. And why would anyone do that? Why on earth would anyone want to go to work for only $4 an hour? It just doesn't make sense. Why not stay at home? I don't blame the people staying at home. I really don't. Just reality is that if you're able to have the opportunity, why wouldn't you take it? It seems like it'd be kind of dumb not to. But that's the problem, where the old saying goes that the path to hell is paved with good intentions. They might have had good intentions. I personally don't think they did, but they might have had good intentions when they added all these unemployment benefits. And what has happened as a result? The effect it's had on the economy is horrendous, and the fact that they are still trying to defend it at this point after all the evidence is in that it doesn't work is astounding. God, they got a great picture of Biden here for this article, and just that's the President of the United States, people. Biden has insisted that the expanding benefits had little effect on the stubbornly high unemployment levels, a position he restated Wednesday night. I see no evidence it had any serious impact on it, he said, but you can argue, let's assume it did. It comes to an end, so it's not like we're in this situation where if that was it, I can't stand the way he talks, and it ends, then we're going to see John's going to have no problem. But what I think it has happened, folks, is look, if you make less than, and I'm not saying, John, your folks make less than 15, if you've got a good restaurant, that means tips are good, and people make a lot more than that, or a lot more than just what the wage is being paid. Again, it shows how little they know, of course, outside their cities. The reality is that though, yes, in a lot of places, most waiters, most waitresses, they're going to be making more than $15 an hour after tips. That's very rarely do people make less than $15 an hour in the food service industry who work in those kind of jobs. You don't know where those restaurants are. For all you know, in that area, they might be making $13, and that's fine because the cost of living is lower, right? What works in cities doesn't work in a country. I was living in one area where, to be honest, if you got paid, you know, if you got paid $40,000 a year, you were good. You were set. You know, you only need is like 40,000. You could have a house and everything. You know, there's someone in our family who's in Georgia, kind of middle of nowhere in Georgia, and they bought a really nice, like, 3-bedroom house with a pool and all sorts of good backyard. They have sheep, and they bought the entire house for under $100,000, right? Depending on where you live, depends on how much you're getting paid. Now, if you're in one of those small areas where you're getting already paid almost nothing, and now you're getting paid $16 an hour or something around that, why would you ever work for less? It just doesn't make sense. But it was at least great that Joe Biden left us with some great quotes. He left us, of course, with some great moments, and apparently also some great pictures here. I mean, that right there is going to be on the wall of anyone. That's going to be the wall of the White House one day. That's a fantastic photo of him. Either way, what do you think? What did you think about the whole town hall? You know, did he actually do better than you expected, worse than you expected, or about what you expected? And leave a comment down below. If you've liked this video, please, if you've enjoyed this video, please like it. And of course, subscribe to the channel, whether you're watching on, you know, well, I guess now, you know, YouTube, BitChute, Minds, wherever you might be watching. Just go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well for more. And I'll be seeing y'all again real soon.